fight fans all over the world? It's your boy, the realest of the real. Yes, sir, I said it, Real Talk Boxing. It's a privilege, an honor, and a blessing to be back at you beautiful people again. I heard Jared Anderson was giving Tyson Fury the business in sparring. Really giving Tyson Fury the business. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. Because there's some out there saying that Anderson is not Deontay Wilder. So if Jared Anderson, an up-and-coming prospect, is giving Tyson Fury the business, what do you think Deontay Wilder is going to do to him in the third fight? Now, for the people who may be saying that, obviously it's coming from people who don't know a dang thing about boxing. Listen. When you're in camp and you're sparring, right? You want sparring partners in there who's going to push you. Not only push you, but push you to the limit. You don't want people in there who you totally take advantage of each time they step in the ring. What are you learning when you're beating the crap out of all of your sparring partners? What are you learning? Nothing. So if Jared Anderson is giving Tyson Fury the business, that's a great thing. For people who don't know boxing, that's a great thing. It's pushing Tyson. It's letting Tyson Fury know that there's room for improvement. Sparring is very, very important. Very important. Now I heard this isn't Anderson's first time being Tyson Fury's sparring partner. And obviously there's a reason why he's been brought back. But at least we know Tyson Fury's sparring. He's getting that good work in. We have no idea if Deontay Wilder's getting good work in sparring. We just don't know much about what he's doing. He's posting a lot of weightlifting. He's posting jump rope and hand mitts. Maybe that's strategic. Maybe he doesn't want us to see what's really going on. I mean, we just don't know. You know, more power to him. But when I first heard that Anderson was giving him the business, I was like, that's a good thing. You know why? Because it's going to sharpen Tyson Fury. It's going to make him that much more better. And later on during training camp, I can guarantee you Tyson Fury and Anderson sparring is going to start to shift a little bit. Because Tyson Fury is improving. Getting your butt whooped makes you do one or two things. Quit or get better. Story time. Dallas, Texas. Me and a fighter that I was training at the time, we went to Dallas to get some sparring. I was going to that camp to spar too because I was fighting my very last local amateur tournament. I had lost weight. I was heavyweight the first 3 times I fought in these tournaments. And I got tired of it, so I went down to light heavyweight. They had a cruiserweight there who was a former professional fighter. He had retired, but he always comes in. He's from Jamaica. I don't remember the guy's name. He's always in the gym there in Dallas, just sparring, helping young fighters out. Now, I didn't know who I was going to spar when I got there. And the whole time we were going there, I was asking the fighter that I was training at the time's promoter, yo, man, they got any amateur fighters there? Like, any amateurs there? Like, because I had in my mind set, I was not stepping into that ring with a professional fighter. I wasn't going to do it. I was not ready for it. Deep down in the back of my mind, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is Real Talk Boxing, right? I was afraid. I was scared. I didn't want to get in there with a professional fighter and deal with the outcome. Okay, so we get there, right? And we met Kurt Johnson, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Kurt Johnson. And I when I see him on the heavy bag, I was just tripping. I was just floored, man, when I met him. I walked up to him when he was doing his bag work and I said, listen, man, my name's Brian. I'm a huge fan. I watched you live when you fought this guy, that guy. And I'm a huge fan, man. Huge fan. He's like, man, I appreciate that. Real cool, down-to-earth dude. He was very overweight. at that day at the gym. Very overweight. So he was on his way to getting back in shape. So the guy that I was training was sparring this killer. I remember his name. His name is Dominique. Don't remember his last name. But he was an up-and-coming man, and he was killing everybody in Dallas, heavyweight. And he was giving Scott the business. First time I ever seen Scott get beat down in sparring. First time. And this dude was throwing everything he had to get Scott out of there, but he could not knock Scott out. And it was pissing him off. It was actually getting him off his game. So Scott handled his business a couple of rounds in there. He still got his lunch money took, but he didn't quit, and he landed some big shots on that dude. So after he sparred, Reggie, the promoter, said, all right, B, it's time for you to spar. I'm like, well, who you got? Where's the amateur? You're going to spar him. And I had already been talking to him. The dude told me, yeah, man, I'm a former professional. I'm at cruiserweight. I get in here to move around with these kids, show them a thing or two. So, you know, are you moving around today? I was like, yeah, but not with you. And so Reggie was like, go get your cup on. You're getting in there with him. And I was like, nah, Reggie, I'm not doing that. He was like, yeah, you are. I'm like, no, I'm not. And Scott looked over at me, man. He says, hey, man, if you scared, get in the car and go home. A fighter that I was training, that I was help training. That's what he told me. And that hurt my soul. It pissed me off, but it hurt my soul at the same time because it was the truth. And the truth hurts. I was scared. So I slowly walked to the back. I put that cup on as slow as I possibly could. And I went out there and I stepped into that ring as slow as I possibly could. And he said, all right, young blood, let's go halfway. And I was so reluctant to throw anything hard because I didn't want that fire coming back at me. When I went back to the corner, Reggie, the promoter, told me, listen, dude, you need to work. If you get your butt whooped, you just get your butt whooped. Learn from it. Take heed to it. Soak it up like a sponge. This dude ain't in here to hurt you. He here to work with you. All right? So if you're going to go out this round like you did that last round, then don't go out at all, man. So you know what? I sucked it up. I went out there and I started applying pressure. And then he applied pressure. He caught me with a body shot that hurt me, pissed me off. So I went harder. And then he went harder. So I was like, maybe I need to stay at around 75, 60. Because the harder I went, the harder he went. And we sparred 4 rounds, man, 4 rounds. And I was so proud of myself. Now, granted, he could have taken me out at any given time because of his experience. But he didn't. He gave me good work. He hurt me. There were spots where I was shooting shots where I couldn't even hit him. I didn't know where he was. But I learned from that. And honestly, before we left, I was like, man, we need to be here all the time. I hate that Dallas was a 3-hour drive. But if we could have gone there every single day and got that sparring, I would have been that much more better. But that's what good sparring does for you, man. It sharpens you up. It builds your confidence. And it lets you know that there's always room to improve. So, Jared Anderson, keep giving Tyson Fury the business. And for people out there who thinking just because Anderson's doing that, Deontay Wilder's going to beat the brakes off Tyson Fury, you don't know nothing about boxing. You don't know nothing about sparring. Never mind what I'm talking about. What do you think about it? Comment down below. Let your boy Real Talk know. As always, respect all, fear none, God bless. Until the next time, Real Talk Boxing, we up and we out of here.